15 huge Coronation Street spoilers for next week. Next week on Coronation Street, Daniel is rocked by serious allegations over his connection to Summer. Elsewhere, Michael receives 2 more shocks over Grace, while Hasham's reign of terror could be coming to an end. Here's a full collection of 15 big moments coming up. 1. Max continues to get the wrong idea. Max starts the week convinced that there's an illegal relationship going on between Daniel and Summer. When Summer becomes unsteady on her feet after skipping lunch, Daniel grabs her arm to steady her. Max is watching from afar, filming the exchange. A concerned Daniel slips an energy bar into Summer's bag, which is another act that Max catches on camera. Max then looks through Summer's bag to see what Daniel put inside. He gets the wrong idea yet again when he finds a love poem that Daniel wrote out for Summer as part of her studies. 2. Max goes public with his suspicions. Max later confronts Daniel at the ice ball, accusing him of abusing his position with Summer. Daniel is stunned, especially when Max claims to have proof to back up his suspicions. Daniel warns Summer about what Max is saying, so she steps in and tries to warn him off. However, with Summer belittling Max, he decides to do his worst with a public outburst at the ice ball. 3. Paul suspects Daniel is guilty. The school becomes involved in Max's allegations, which means that he, Daniel and Summer all have to be interviewed. Max offers up his evidence, but Daniel insists he has done nothing wrong. Summer also tries to clear Daniel's name by pointing out that nothing is going on. Later, however, Summer tells Paul that she did connect emotionally with Daniel. Summer clumsily explains that nothing could happen because of Daniel's position at the school, but Paul fears the worst and suspects that Daniel was grooming her. 4. Daniel's problems get worse. Paul decides that it's time to involve the police in this matter, so an officer turns up to question Summer. The officer asks whether Summer was the mystery female who Daniel recently had in his flat, but she confirms that it wasn't her. Summer rebukes Paul for involving the police and then confides in Daisy, explaining that she developed a crush on Daniel but he did nothing wrong. Could Daisy be the one to help Daniel through this mess? 5. The tables turn on Max. When the dust starts to settle following the interviews with the school and the police, Summer confronts Max for causing so much trouble. Max then has to attend a meeting with the deputy head to discuss the fact that he punched Daniel amid the recent tensions. The troublesome schoolboy admits that he doesn't regret it and wishes he'd done it harder. Mrs. Cranshaw decides that it's time to recommend Max for permanent expulsion, a decision which David is quick to blame Daniel for. 6. Fizz struggles to get along with Phil's mother. Phil is having a birthday party, but his mum Mimi takes over the planning. This includes ordering hideous dresses for Fizz and the girls. Fizz quickly loses patience over Mimi's meddling presence on the street, but when she tries to raise her concerns with Phil, she feels unsupported by him. Fizz feels slightly better when Tyrone lets her know that Phil has booked a surprise Christmas holiday for her, Hope and Ruby. However, Fizz still can't let the Mimi situation go and makes her feelings perfectly clear to Phil. 7. Tyrone jumps in to defend Fizz. At the party, Mimi reveals that her surprise gift for Phil is the news that she'll be moving to Weatherfield. Fizz is furious, knowing that she can't take much more of Mimi. Tyrone sees how much Fizz is struggling, so pulls Mimi to one side and gives her some home truths over the way Shush is behaving. Tyrone insists that Phil is the luckiest man alive to have Fizz as his partner, clearly regretting their own recent split. When they head back to the party, Tyrone and Mimi realize that Mimi's microphone was left on throughout their exchange. How much did everyone hear? 8. Fizz and Phil suffer a new setback. Phil has been staying with Fizz while his boiler is broken, but he receives the news that it's finally fixed. While Phil is keen for his relationship with Fizz to keep progressing, she tells him that it's time for him to move back home. Phil struggles to hide his obvious disappointment. 9. Emma is fooled by more of Curtis' lies. Emma remains oblivious to the fact that Curtis is lying to her about his health. He also fools her with more falsehoods, claiming that HES training for the Three Peaks Challenge to raise more money for Oliver's fund. Emma worries about how the training could impact Curtis' supposed heart condition. She suggests they could carry out the challenge together so she can keep an eye on him, but Curtis says that he wants to do it alone. Later in the week, Curtis appears to leave for the Three Peaks, but instead meets up with a charity worker and gives a talk about his illness at the local golf club. It's clear that he has no intention of really carrying out the Three Peaks Challenge. 10. Michael tries to stop Grace from leaving. Ed and Aggie tell Michael that Grace has decided she doesn't want Glory anymore. Michael can't believe what HES hearing, so he races to the tram station and urges Grace not to walk out on Glory. But will she be prepared to listen? 11. Michael faces further revelations. Michael is shocked when Bernie later tells him that Grace recently left Glory home alone. Bernie adds that she mentioned this to Aggie, so Michael doesn't understand why it's the first HES hearing about it. Michael confronts Aggie and accuses her of using this situation to force Grace to sign a document over Glory's future. Will Aggie and Ed explain everything that has been going on recently? 12. The Nazirs come under suspicion. In the fallout from the speed dial fire, Zidane manages to retrieve Hasham's dirty cash. He then tells Alia that they just need to sit tight and wait for the insurance money to come through, leaving her feeling very guilty. Later in the week, Kelly overhears Yasmin talking to Elaine about the future of the business, as Elaine wants to sell her share once the insurance money comes through. Kelly accuses the Nazir family of torching the restaurant themselves in an insurance con. 13. Hasham is rushed to hospital. The police also start to become interested in the theory that speed dial was set alight deliberately. Alia is alarmed when they ask to see the business accounts, while Yasmin is interviewed down at the station. While Yasmin is away being quizzed, Hasham visits her home and threatens Zidane yet again. However, the showdown takes a turn when Hasham clutches his chest and collapses. We can't give away what happens next after Zidane goes to call an ambulance, but he later tells the police that Hasham confessed to starting the fire with the intention of killing him. Is this what really happened? 14. Steve feels torn between his daughters. Amy decides to study business at university after receiving an impressive set of predicted grades. However, Steve tells Tracy that affording the fees and accommodation may be a problem, as he has already promised their flat sale money to Emma to fund her wedding. Steve reluctantly suggests to Emma that she could scale back her wedding in order to help pay for Amy's education. However, Amy overhears and insists that Shush is happy to go to a local university and live at home. But how will Tracy feel about this? 15. Sarah reveals she might be pregnant. Sarah attends a meeting with Underworld client Gavin and his PA Lydia, who's played by former Waterloo Road and Casualty star Rebecca Ryan. Lydia spots Sarah looking unwell and wonders whether she might be pregnant. Sarah shares the news with Adam that she might be expecting, and HES overjoyed by the news.